The eCom Seller Summit was created to prove that with the right tools and training, anyone and everyone can make money in e-commerce. So many people want to try their hand at e-commerce, selling on eBay, Amazon, Shopify, and more, but they're afraid they won't be successful. This summit will show you that there's many ways to do e-commerce, and there are many platforms you can explore, because e-commerce really has no limits. It really can pay your bills, and e-commerce never sleeps. There's nothing like waking up to profits from getting sales all night long. My name is Nicole Whitlock, and this is the eCom Seller Summit. Before we get started, be sure to take good notes. Today's eCom Seller Summit speaker is Keddrick Jones. Keddrick has been selling on various platforms since 2006. On his e-commerce journey, he's hit some roadblocks, but he's been able to overcome them all. He's turned his love of hunting for awesome thrift finds into launching Shop with the Joneses, his signature brand. He's been able to find some amazing bargains that have yielded him massive profits. Keddrick, thank you for making time in your busy schedule to share your tips with us today.
Hello, this is Nicole Whitlock with the eCom Seller Summit. And today I have with me Mr. Keddrick Jones. He is our featured speaker, and he's going to be talking to us about thrifting. Now, I will tell you that Keddrick had some technical challenges that were unexpected. So we're doing this interview a little different than how we originally planned. But I do want to thank you, Keddrick, for joining us. So without further ado, I'm going to hand this over to Keddrick as he guides us through thrifting for profits. Thank you, Keddrick.
Thank you for having me, Nicole. I hope everybody's doing well out there. So I'm here to talk about thrifting for profits. I'm going to tell you guys how I got started, what I did, and, there's a few more tricks of the trade to help you make some money.
All right.
So first, let me tell you guys, I've been selling on eBay for 14 years, and I've been selling on Amazon for about 5 years, a little bit over 5 years. I started off just selling knockoff China Gucci and Prada. Started off selling stuff like that, and I made a little money. This was back in 2005. I was looking for a way just to make some money, and that was one of the quickest ways for me to do it. I got about maybe 1 or 2 negative feedbacks for selling stuff like that, so I ended up stopping. And I was a college student at the time, so I started reselling my books after the fact. So just fast forward a few years later, I started selling on Amazon. Amazon was, I saw a lot of people, I was on Facebook, I saw all these people making money on Amazon, and I wanted a piece of the pie. So I started following these people. I invested in one of the courses that was presented to me. This course taught me how to drop ship and how to do FBA, but it didn't teach me how to do it the right way. So what happened was I took the training that was provided to me by this specific person, and it didn't work. So what happened was my account was suspended. Amazon suspended my account. And if you've ever been through any kind of suspension with Amazon, you know for sure that Amazon does not play. So they took my account. The money that I had sitting there to be paid out to me, they took that as well. So what I'm going to tell you is a easy and low cost way to make some money on Amazon and eBay as well. So the first thing that happened was they took away my account. I was suspended. I couldn't get back on. I called them, I emailed them, did all that stuff. It was even one guy even tried to get me to buy a course that was supposedly teach you how to get your account back, which I didn't invest in, which was a few $100s. So what I did was I thought of a plan in 2016, January 31st, 2016. I created an LLC called Shopping with the Joneses. Shopping with the Joneses was created to be catchy. I wanted something that was catchy. So I used my last name and I came up with that. I started selling on Amazon in March of 2016. Well, March of 2016 was my first shipment, my first FBA shipment. I was able to purchase things like Dollar Tree items, Five Below. This was before I even got into thrifting. So I got those things. I sent them to Amazon, was able to make a few dollars off it. But if this is your first time selling on Amazon, you know it's a lot of fees. You're paying seller fees on top of your shipping fees. And I didn't send a lot of inventory because at this point, I'm weary of if this is going to work or not. So I spent a few dollars, probably about $100, and I bought some inventory from the Dollar Tree and Five Below. And the stuff sold quick, sold pretty quick. So after these items sold, I knew I had to do something different. Either I had to buy more inventory or I had to find a different way to sell, different items to sell. So this is when I started thrifting. I set a goal to say, okay, I won't spend over $10 per item. I'll just go in and find some stuff and scan and see what happens. So I use Amazon Seller app as my number one scanner. Some people use Jungle Scout, different other little things, but I personally like the Amazon Seller app. So like I said, I was looking for items as far as let me see. Go to the next slide. I'm sorry. Well, these are the thrift, as far as the thrift stores to shop at: Goodwill, Salvation Army, Savers, and Thrift City. Goodwill are pretty popular in the area, most areas. Salvation Armies, some people have those as well. And I know for sure Savers, we had a few here in Houston, but they closed down, so we don't have any. Thrift City is definitely a decent thrift store to shop at.
Okay. And what about, like, if I'm going to be a thrifter, like if I don't have a lot of these options available to me, maybe there's some local nonprofit that has opened up a little thrift store. Do you recommend checking out all of the thrift stores that happen to be in my area, regardless of whether or not they're on this list?
Yeah, definitely. Check out the small ones, the mom and pops as well. They both have different items, but mostly the same. I noticed most of them had the same toys, the same items. I know Thrift City, certain ones are more committed to clothing than they are to toys, electronics, small appliances, and things like that.
Okay. And what about resale shops? Should I consider
resale shops? I haven't been to many resale shops. I've been to maybe 2 or 3, and I have yet to find anything. Those are mostly for clothing. I personally, I don't sell clothes because of the fuss and the fight with them between. Well, you can't sell used clothes on Amazon. So those you be selling clothes, you mostly selling on eBay.
Yeah. Unless it's a name brand with a brand new tag, then there's some clothes. Yeah, brand new clothes. I know that those can be sold because I've done some of those. Okay. All right. So let's talk about some of the items that you look for when you go to the thrift shops.
So what I look for personally is new items. That's the first thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for a new item, anything that's still in the plastic or anything that's still in the plastic with a defect. And I'll explain more on why at the end with the defects. Toys, anything that's brand new that's still in the wrapper with toys. If you're selling it on Amazon, Amazon doesn't usually let you sell used toys. It's rarely seen on there, but sometimes you could. Most times you can't. If you have the time, you can sell those used toys on eBay. I know some people break down used toys and sell the parts, maybe a board, maybe some pieces, and they make money like that. Kitchen items. I always look for small appliances, toasters, fryers, mini ovens, and ice makers, just to name a few on what I normally see and what I normally would pick up. Now I can tell you, a lot of these items are probably going to be dirty. A lot of them probably are going to be used. So make sure when you are scanning these items that you are looking at the used side, and make sure you can sell these items as used. Sometimes you can't sell those items as used. Plug the items up. Make sure they work before you even get them home. Because if you don't find out that the item doesn't work until you get home, you out of money. They don't accept exchanges, or they don't give refunds either. So you have to make sure, it's your job to make sure that this item works before you get it home. That way you can sell this item with confidence.
Okay.
Books are definitely one of the most easiest things to find. They have a whole section dedicated to books. Now, let me tell you, I rarely find new books. Rarely. I usually find educational, coloring books, the fiction books, and the Marvel books. The Marvel books do well. With the recent movies that's coming out with Marvel, those books sell. Those books sell a lot. You can get those books from any of these Goodwills or different thrift stores. You can even look on Craigslist and find somebody who have totes. You know, sometimes they sell these books as a tote. You might get 300, 400, 500 books for maybe $75 to $100. You know, you can go over and scan. Sometimes they have book sales. I've been to a few churchyard sales where they were selling books, and bought a few books and was able to make some good profit on it. And electronics do well. Now, when I say electronics, I'm speaking of tape recorders, those old CD players, those old VCRs, the DVD players, gaming systems, and these big old calculators that's used for pretty much tax purposes. They usually range in between $3 and $10, but the profit is really decent on them. So I definitely would recommend buying them. The tape recorders, I know most people watch Netflix, or they have cable at home or a Fire Stick, but for whatever reason, tape recorders sell. I haven't really seen tape recorders since the Blockbuster days, but these thrift stores have them, and they're really cheap, but they sell for $30, $40 used. So if you could find a new one, man, you could really clean up. But I've yet to find any new tape recorders. And the gaming systems, you know, the Super Nintendos, the Mario games, all that type of stuff sells, people. So definitely look at it, scan it, do whatever you need to do. Even look in your garages, your attics, and sell those old games if you're just sitting on them, man. You want to get rid of them. People will buy them. There's a lot of gamers out here.
All right. So you said new toys, and what about like collectibles that happen to be toys, like vintage, not necessarily vintage,
Yeah,
just collectibles.
vintage. Yeah, vintage toys or collectible toys. I have an example at the end. I can't wait to show you guys of an antique collectible toy.
All right.
But they
Okay.
sell. They sell well.
All right. And then on books, I remember that the book boss said that, selling new books on Amazon is a no-no. So if you want to sell your new books, he highly recommends selling them on eBay instead of Amazon. Or you can do like new because you didn't buy it brand new. And that's another way to
Yeah.
list it. So, okay. Well, let's go take, oh, I know that you also mentioned yard sales. So some of the strategies that you use for the thrift stores, do you use those also since, resale shops, you said that those are mainly clothes and you don't do clothes that much. And I know that there are some thrifters or there are some people that thrift for profits and they do, sorry, that didn't sound right, but they also buy from resale shops. But what about yard sales? You have the same strategy when you uh,
I do. The yard sales are mostly kind of smaller than obviously the thrift stores. So it's kind of easier to move around with the yard sales. You don't really have too many people. Depending on what time you get there. You don't usually have too many people around, but they sell anything from furniture to big appliances like refrigerators, sofas, vacuum cleaners, but they have books and old gaming systems and TVs that they try to get rid of as well. So you can actually take those items and resell them on Craigslist, or you can resell them on Facebook marketing, the Facebook marketplace, or you can still sell them on Amazon or eBay. It's all up to you how quick you want to sell it. I do recommend researching the item before you purchase it. Don't purchase the item just because you like it. Just if you like the item and you want to use it for your own use, then that's totally fine. But to buy something just because you think it might sell without doing the research, I would say that's a no-no.
all right. So one tip there, make sure that you do not buy anything without doing the research on it first. That is a golden nugget right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll and take a look at a couple of things.
Okay, so this is one of those antique toys. It's Cabbage Patch.
A
Cabbage
collectible.
Patch.
Okay.
Yeah, antique collectible item. This was Cabbage Patch. It was a limited edition of a Jeff Gordon. It had a birth certificate. It was brand new. This item was actually a bit out of my range, but I paid it. I usually never pay $20 for an item, and that's just me being being me. But I paid about $25 for this item. I took a chance. I bought this item right before Christmas. It was it stood out. When I scanned it, the rank was the rank. It had a high rank, but they didn't have any sellers. So which told me this item sold out a while ago. So I took a chance. I put it on there and I made my price $169. Once I shipped the item out, I made about $100.
Nice.
So
Nice.
that's $20 spent. $20 spent with $100 profit.
So do you actually do more merchant fulfilled than you do FBA, or do you try to do a mix?
I do mostly FBA, but by it being so close to Christmas, I didn't want to take a chance of shipping this item to Amazon and waiting a while for it to sell. So I went on ahead and FBA'd it myself. I was gonna send it FBA after the Christmas rush, and once things slowed down a little bit, I was gonna send it, but it ended up selling a little bit after Christmas, maybe right before New Year's it sold. So I was able to get off that item.
All right. Well, congratulations. That's a nice $100 profit. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's go.
All right. So the one on the left is a Cyrus radio, mostly for the satellite radio in most cars nowadays. Now this is an item that was pretty much it was brand new, but it had a few defects. If you look on the top of it, it's a piece of tape, and that piece of tape was I actually put that piece of tape on it to prevent it from tearing even more so. It would have sold for like $150 on Amazon, brand new, but that item did have a defect to it, so I didn't want to take the risk. So what I did was I looked at the comps, and when I say comps, I looked at the sold items on this item on eBay. What I do is when I'm looking for an item on eBay, I look for the first 3 sold items, and I make a decision on how much that I'm going to sell that item for. And I look to see how many times have that item sold in the past 30 days. If it's sold at least 5 times in the past 30 days, I'll buy it. And especially if the profit is really worth it, I'll buy it. This item ended up selling for $100.99. That was pretty much the price that I thought it would sell for. Actually sold in a few hours, so I probably should have raised the price a little bit more, but
Yes.
I only invested $5 on this item.
Oh my goodness.
After shipping and eBay fees, I ended up with about $70.
Nice. Now, when you say defect, I want to clarify. When you say defect, you mean the defect to the box. The box is not in pristine condition.
Yeah.
But the content.
Defect to the box. Not the defect, meaning the item. The item was untouched. The item was still in the plastic. It was still in a great condition. It was unfazed. It was just somebody took the box and ripped it on the top for whatever reason. It's possible that it didn't even come in like that. It's possible that it could have got torn by some kid running around in the Goodwill. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I made the best decision for the business. And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to remember. At the end of the day, these items have your name on it. It's a representation of your business.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
So the item on the right was how can I say this? It was a Senate oil fan which it was a discontinued item. I found this one at Thrift City. It was, if you look at the photo, it was $3.93, I believe. So it was a little bit, probably about $4.25. This item was selling on eBay and Amazon. It was actually selling on Amazon at that time for $72.99, and it had a decent rank. So what made me buy this item was it was $3. It was a little bit over $4. And the profit margin. Now, if you look at the Amazon picture, it'll tell you $62.04. If you take a little bit over $4 out, you come out to about like $57 if you was to sell it at $72.99. The rank was good on this item, 142,000 in the health and personal care. They had a great feedback. I usually look for a feedback of at least 3 stars and above. This one had 4. And just to remember, even though it has 5 rated feedbacks, that's usually maybe like 1% of the people that leave feedback. A lot of people don't leave feedback. So just because an item doesn't have a lot of feedback, it doesn't mean it doesn't sell. Now,
Okay.
this item had, just to throw it out there.
All right. Now, I was going to point out the feedback where he's talking about, that's the stars over here on this particular.
Yeah, that's the star.
You can maybe barely see, but this is what he is referring to as the stars on this particular item. So it had quite a bit. All right. Okay.
Now this is a leak pad. This item was I forget. I think it was like $7 or $8. But as you can see, this item, if you compare it to the last item, it was only 5 people that left feedback. This item, 1,300 people left a feedback, and it's 4.5 stars. Now, when you have 4.5 stars, anything above 3 is pretty much good. I believe anything above 3 has a less probability of being returned. You know, sometimes things get returned because it's defects. It could be defects with the supplier, or it could be just a bad item for whatever reason. So this one was a no-brainer. It was 50,000 under 60,000 rank, $109, and I got it for like $8. So it was decent profit off that one as well. I actually merchant fulfilled that one because I remember that item sold the same day I bought it. So actually, before I even got home, that item was already sold. And that's another thing. List these items. If you're gonna sell it and you're not gonna send it in FBA, list it in the store. It may even sell before you get out of it. Get out of the store. I've had that happen plenty of times. But this item, it actually went to the car, straight to the box. It didn't even get a chance to chill in the living room.
And is that where you put your inventory that you acquire, is in the living room?
Yeah, I usually put my inventory right by my door. And I put my inventory by my door because I wanted to get on my nerves. You know, sometimes we could go shopping and we buy millions of things and it just sit there. Now, if it's sitting by your door, you got to high step over it, tiptoe. You got to do whatever to get to the door to get out or get in. That's eventually going to get on your nerves. So if you constantly seeing that, it's going to make you do something about it. So that's my strategy on getting shipments out. Put it by the door. Watch how quick it leaves. Because it's going to get on your nerves. It's going to frustrate you. In a good way. You're like, oh, you know what? I have to do something about this, man. This is ridiculous. I need to get this stuff out the way. But if it's just in a corner, like, yeah, you looking at it like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. But if you constantly have to step over it, it's going to get on your nerves. And you're like, you know what? Let me get the shipment out the way.
There you go. That'll do it. All right. So tell us about this book. Is this a book or is it something else?
Yeah, this is a book. This was actually a college book. This book was $1. Oh. And this book was $117.81. And let me just tell you, just because somebody else on Amazon, this is the cheapest price for FBA was $117.81. That's not saying that you have to sell your items for that price. You can sell it low. You can sell it higher. I do not recommend you selling it lower than that. Me personally, I like to be in the middle. I don't like to be the highest, and I definitely don't like to be the lowest. So, and then Amazon wasn't selling on this one, but I believe they were selling it brand new. So most people go for used books. You know, this particular book, I sold it as used in good condition. There was no highlighter items in it. There was no markings in it. Check the book for that as well, because you want to be able to tell people about this. Because if you just say your item was used in good condition, and then that person gets it, like, and you have highlighted in it, or maybe they have a ripped page, or maybe a page was missing, and you sold this item to them, that item's coming back. They're gonna pretty much be disappointed. And another thing is, I didn't forget the tag on here. I just left the tag on here just to show people it was $1. Please remember to take the tags off it. It's been one instance that I did forget to take the tag off an item that I sold for over 10 times of what the price was on it. And that item came back, and I got a negative feedback for it. I got it removed, but it's just the fact I could have avoided that. But just take your time. Make sure you take that off. Make sure you take the price off, and make sure you describe your item the way it is.
Yeah. So when he says describe it the way it is, if it says in that first example, the box is dented or the box is torn, if it's got a bend on a couple of pages, you want to mention that. If it's got anything that they need to know, so that you're selling the item as is. So if there's anything about it, they need to know about it, and you need to mention it.
Yeah, tell them.
And I do
Put
that.
it in your listing.
I was going to say, I put it in my listing, definitely when I list on eBay. I do a lot of used stuff on eBay, and I will definitely list, like I do clothes on eBay. So that's usually when I say I'll do the resale shops. But when I do that, I make sure that if the pants have, like there's jeans these days that have a little tear in it, so I mention that. But if there's something special about the pocket or the hemline, or one of the arms on the shirt or something, I mention anything. If there's like a little bitty dot on one part, I make sure I take an extra picture of it and I include it in the listing. But that's making sure you're covering yourself so you can mitigate and manage your potential returns.
Yeah, definitely. Cover yourself. You have to. Cover your business.
Yes, cover
All
your
right,
business.
so this is another antique toy on the left. Mr. Wonderful. Never heard of the guy. I walked up to this item because it was new. Now, if you look a little close, mine has a dent on the right-hand side, just above his head. It has a dent, and it was brand new. And to be honest with you, it had like cobwebs in it. It was this item looked like it was in someone's attic, and that's what I believe it was somebody's attic. I was able to clean this item out. And I actually sold this one for used. I was able to sell this one toy as used because it was more of a collectible as well. So this item sold for let me see, I sold mine for like $75.99. Because once I got home and made a shipment, they only had one left. And $63,000 on this toy was pretty decent. And this was kind of like an antique toy as well, Mr. Wonderful. I ended up Googling them, finding out a few things about it. And if you look at the top of it, tell you where I bought it from, Missouri City.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know where Missouri City? Yeah, that's like a suburban
No, I
area.
don't know what the tag says on how much you bought this one for. I was curious.
Oh, that one was like in between $7 and $9. I'm gonna say. I think it was $8.99 to be honest with you. So it's like a little bit over, almost $10.
Okay, all right.
But I still made a little bit over $50 on it. And to the right, we have a replacement filter. I believe this was for a swimming pool. It was a swimming pool or for the refrigerator. I'm not sure. I don't remember which one it was for. But
it looks like it might be the refrigerator, but I might be wrong. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it is a refrigerator. But this item was $2.99. I remember getting this item on a Friday. Goodwill, if you are a veteran or first responder or can show a military ID or an ID for being a military first responder, they'll give you 30% off. So this item was $2.99, so it was $3. So I got 30% off. So it was like $2.30, I believe, at the end of the day. So it was selling on Amazon for $75, $76, almost $76, and it only had one. So I was able to sell mine for a little bit over, almost close to $90, just because it was FBA. Now I only had one person there. If you look, he was selling his at $75. He was a merchant. Most people buy FBA, even though it's a little higher.
Wow.
So that gave me that gave me a little bit more motivation to purchase that item.
Wow. Okay.
Now here's another toy. I said gaming systems. This one was this is like a wheel. I actually found this one at the Salvation Army. This one was a little bit of, I think it came out to like almost $16. But the profit was there. It was selling for over 100 and I think it was 170, 180 bucks on Amazon used. I did take this item out and inspect it and make sure everything was good. I was able to put it back in a box and ship it FBA. This is one of the items that I shipped FBA. It didn't last long. Pretty much as soon as it got to the warehouse, it sold. And you look at the rank, it's 38. Yeah, that's a super low rank, which means it sells pretty quick. It sells fast, and that's what you want. That's what you want to. You want to find items, if you can, that sell fast. The faster it sells, the faster you get your money.
There you go.
And this item on the right, I actually messed up on this item. I bought this item. Only thing you see is the transcriber.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even see the headphones to it or the other stuff. So this item came back because I didn't pay attention. You know, I spent like maybe a little bit over almost $5 on this item, and it was like an $85 profit, but I didn't have everything. So that was the reason why this item came back. If you see the picture shows the transcriber and it shows the little headphone things that go along with it. And if you look at my picture, you only see the transcriber. So this is why that item came back. So I couldn't be mad at nobody but myself. I messed up on that one, big time. So pay attention to what you're doing and look at that rank. That rank is real decent for office products. That's number 11. And we had 3.5 stars. So the item sells good. I was wondering, why did it come back? And I looked at the picture like, oh, I didn't have the other parts. Of course it came back. And then I didn't describe, it didn't have those parts.
Yeah.
So I messed up on that. So that was my fault. I learned from my mistakes and I took my loss like a man and moved on.
All right.
So on the left, we have Monopoly. Now, this item right here, this was a little bit out of my range. Now, when I say out of my range, that rank in toy, that's a $2 million. That's a $2 million rank. Usually in toys, I try to stay under 250,000. But I found this item for like I believe it was $6.99, and it's vintage. It even says it on there. And if you look, it's still in the plastic. It's brand new. I looked at this item and I saw 3 people selling it, but they were selling it for merchant fulfilled. So, which means the FBA is wide open. So I ended up selling mine for almost $150.
Nice.
It actually sold quick, even though it had a high rank like that. And it, when I say quick, it took like maybe a month and a half, no longer than 2 months, because it did have a high rank, but it was brand new FBA, and that eases people's mind. You're like, they don't really know what they're getting from a seller who has the item at their home and just selling it. At least when they buy FBA, they know for sure if they are a Prime member, they're getting it in 2 days. They know Amazon is going to take care of it. It's coming in an Amazon box. So they know what they're getting versus, another seller who just merchant fulfilling it. So that's another way to look at it as well. And let's see, on the right, we have Trivial Pursuit. These games, you're going to see a lot of these games in Goodwill. You're going to see them used. You're going to see them brand new. I was lucky enough to get this one for like $5, and it was selling for $44.50. I think I priced mine in the middle, closer to $50, and it actually sold pretty quick as well. These are the rank was good, the feedback score was good, the stars are good, and my item was good. Only thing I had to do was take that tag off.
Okay.
Take that tag off and sell it.
There you go.
And here's some more electronics. If you look to the right, we have a satellite speakers. Found those at the Goodwill as well. Those were like $6-7 a piece for two. Now the thing is, at first you gotta make sure your item is the same item on the picture. Now in the picture, all that you see is the speakers, but on the bottom, the mounts are there, so they're not missing. So they were on there, they were brand new. This item sold pretty quick as well. The item on the left, this is like the number. This is what I said. I always say you're not a thrifter until you find this item at least one time. This item right here, I found this item over 3 times. This thing supposedly cleans the shower. It's discontinued, so it's a rare item to find. It's real rare. I bought it for like $7, and it was selling for $229 on Amazon. These things, they sell real quick. They do not. I guarantee you, within a few hours or a few days of this item checking in, it sells. It does not take long for this item to sell at all, and that is an amazing profit for a small investment. You know, you invest $7-8 and you get $188 back in return. So I mean, that's unheard of. Those profit margins in the Goodwills and the thrift stores are just unheard of. So this is why these are some reasons why I recommend going to thrift stores to starting out. You know, I didn't really believe in the process at first, so I found a way. You know, like I said, I was willing to spend anything under $10 to invest to see if this thing works, and it works. As long as you stick with it, you know, it's days where I go thrifting and I don't find anything at all. It's gonna be days like that. You just got to do it. I've never been 2 days. I never went 2 days straight without finding an item. I could honestly tell you that. But I can guarantee you, if you consistent with it, you'll make money. I personally, when I started thrifting, I worked a full-time job. Before work, I hit 2 thrift stores. For lunchtime, I hit 2 thrift stores. After work, I hit 2 thrift stores. I hit 6 stores a day. I didn't hit the same stores every day. You know, you'll get a feel for it as you go along on what stores that you think is hot this day, what stores you think you should hit, what stores are close to you. You can map all that out. Once you drive around your neighborhood or, you know, from home, the 2 thrift stores that I hit, they were on my way to work. The 2 stores that I hit for lunchtime, they were right around my job. The 2 stores that I hit after work, they were going towards my house. So you just have to map out a plan and see what works for you.
Yeah, you can be very strategic. You hit some, like you said, you take a longer route. The other thing is that I know Lysandra is covering taxes, but you know, that mileage, because you're going out and doing research or acquiring inventory for your business. So keep that in mind as well. Now, when you go to the thrift stores, about how long do you spend, or do you have like a set amount of time in which you go through stuff?
I could be done in between 5 and 10 minutes. I could scan the whole store, because I really don't look at clothes. I'm mostly in between. I go from most of the toy aisles are in the front, and then once you go to the back, you see electronics, kitchen appliances. And once you go over one more aisle, you see all the books. Then after I see the books, I'm still looking as I'm headed towards the door. And you know, some different things. You may find a toy that somebody didn't even want anymore in a different aisle. You know, somebody didn't put it back. You know, people never put stuff back in the same place they got it from. So you may find something else in a different aisle. You know, I've found wine openers, brand new, decent profit on a different aisle. Not even in the electronics or by the kitchen appliances. It's over there on the top shelf by the clothes. I'm just looking. Just always keep your eyes open.
So let me just ask one more question. I'll let you wrap this up. So if I am new to thrifting, how much time would you recommend? How many stores would you recommend I hit? How much time would you recommend that I spend just trying to do that level of research before I move on to the next store?
I would say if you're new to it, I would say spend at least 20 minutes in the store. Get to know them, get to know the stores, get to know the managers. Sometimes I've been given discount. These thrift stores, they have a number to hit at the end of the day, so they need to sell as much merchandise as possible. Most of the stuff that they're getting is free, but sometimes I noticed that if you find an item with multiple cases, or it's more than one, they'll possibly give you a discount on it if you ask them. So me personally, I would spend about 20-25 minutes just researching stuff. Get you an Amazon FBA rank chart, and try to stay below 5%, the top 5%, and usually stay below that top 5%. You're gonna do well. And I would just take your time and see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Eventually, you'll find a good system. My system is just going in. I go straight to the toys, and I'm looking for brand new items, because the majority of the stuff I want to sell on Amazon. If you find an item that you cannot sell on Amazon, look it up on eBay. See if you can sell it on eBay. See if you can make a few dollars on eBay from it. If you can't, don't be afraid to walk away from that item. I've walked away from plenty of items because either the profit wasn't there, or I just couldn't sell it on either platform, or it just wasn't the right fit. Don't be afraid to walk away from it. But don't be afraid to take a chance either.
All right, good to know. All right, well, let's check out these items.
So these were night vision goggles. These were some toys. These were actually in the front of the Goodwill. I was able to score 2 of them. I actually bought 4 of them. I went back the next week. They had one more, but they had it at almost $20. But it was all right. I spent $7.57 on both of these a piece. So $7.57 a piece. These actually took a while to sell. The rank was pretty decent, but they didn't sell till like Christmas time. They didn't sell till Christmas time, but that was an easy almost $500 off $14. It's unheard of.
Unheard of. Oh my goodness.
If you can find that item, you definitely winning.
Oh yeah.
So the item, let's see, we had another toy. It was a little board game. It was a classic from what it said. Now I could tell you probably 90-95% of the times of the stuff that I buy, I probably would never buy it. So most of the stuff that I buy from the thrift store, I don't have no kind of relationship with. If I buy something from the thrift store, it's probably gonna get sold.
Yeah,
more than likely. But
yeah.
It's been a few times where I've gotten something home, and one of my parents or my sister or my brother came over and saw something. They're like, "Oh man, let me get this." I'm like, "No, I can't let you have that, bro." Or your parents ask for something, then you may have to come up off that item. It depends. So this is why I recommend sending all your stuff out. So when you have company, your company don't start going through your inventory, asking about your inventory, because they will get you.
Oh, they will. They'll go shopping. They'll come to your house and go shopping.
Man, they come to your house and they shop. No respect, no type of, man, you got to put them out. So get your stuff out of the house, send it off to UPS, FedEx, or whatever you're going to use. Get it to Amazon before your family come to your house, because I promise you, they're gonna be looking. They're coming over there and they're shopping. They ain't scanning either. They want it for them. They ain't trying to resell it. So this is one of my little small kitchen appliances. It's like a little cake pan or whatever. I believe it was like $5. $68, $58. Well, it's like a $50 profit. after fees. It sold real quick. This was one of the items I had to fight with my mom about. She liked to bake, so she promised me that she would bake me a cake if I gave her this item. So I had to make the decision on was $50 more important than her baking me a cake. She had to take one for the team this time because this item went to Amazon. That was the easy ticket item. So this one on the right. I still to this day, I do not know what this is. It was a book. It wasn't a book. It was a 10-pack of it was a 10-pack collection
of like
CD collection.
DVDs.
Yeah, it was CDs in it, and it was brand new. If you look at it, still in the plastic. I only bought it for $1, and it was selling for $603 on Amazon.
Oh,
It had a $3 million, well, not $3 million, but a 3 million ranks in books, which is still pretty decent because Amazon started on books. So you could really sell a book in the 10 million, 20 million and still had a book sell. This particular item was in the 3 mil. And it sold. I spent $1 on it. I ended up selling mine for like $675. So I made some decent profit off this one. I was pretty happy. And this was one of the days where I went to like 4 or 5 different thrift stores and did not find anything. And I finally came across the item. And I found this item. It was like by the dishes. I always walk by the dishes just looking. And this item, as I tell you, this item was in a wrapper. So anything that's brand new in the wrapper, you got to scan it. Don't let it go. Now, I could have walked right past this item, but it was $1. I'm like, oh, let me see. Now, push come to shove, this item didn't make money, or the profit wasn't there, or they just didn't have any way to make money off it. I'd have put it down and kept going.
Oh my
but
goodness.
This item right here, I took a chance. $1 got over $500. Where you know you can spend $1 and make over $500 from?
Yeah. So the key is definitely do your research before you buy the item. Scan it, type it in, try to scan it by the image, scan it by the barcode, type it in to search for it. And if you don't find it, okay. But if you do find it, oh my goodness. This one, I would have loved to have found something like this.
I still, till this day, I researched it. I even Googled it, and I still don't really understand. I still didn't really understand what it was. But 9 out of 10 times, the stuff that I buy, sometimes I just don't understand what it is. But it's a market for it.
This is Adventures in Odyssey. Now that I'm reading it much better, I know what it is. There used to be a radio show with these stories. I know exactly what it is. Oh my goodness. $600.
Now somebody pays over $600 for that.
Yeah, because it's not on anymore. I used to it's not on anymore.
I had no clue.
Radio stations. I remember it. Wow.
I had no clue what this was.
Well, Keddrick, you shared some great tips and strategies for thrifting. You shared a couple of tips around yard sales, and I mentioned a couple of things about resale. But the point is that finding inventory can be easy. He said he spends 10 minutes sometimes because he knows what he's going after. He avoids the clothes. There are people that make a lot of money in clothes and shoes going to thrift stores as well, because you can get brand new shoes and brand new clothes still with tags on it. But Keddrick's strategy is not to do that. His strategy, he knows what he's going in there to look for, and he's 20 minutes in. So, maybe as a new seller, if you're interested in doing thrifting, maybe you do 30 minutes in or 40 minutes in, but still, it's worth the research. You have to look up every single thing. Don't pick something up, not look it up on your phone, and then put it back down. And remember what he said. Sometimes stuff is not in the right sections in the first place. So because it's a thrift store, somebody's probably picking it up and putting it down somewhere else. So you shared some great tips and strategies for thrifting that people probably are not thinking about. So is there anything else, just some closing? You said you were going to mention something about defects, and I didn't know if there was anything else you wanted to share.
Yeah, I mentioned it as far as the item. The Cabbage Patch and the Mr. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah, the
had
box defects.
Yeah, they had the box defects to them. And I wanted to tell you guys about the discount days. Make sure you know the days that they give discount, whether you maybe a senior citizen or a teacher or military. Make sure you know what days to go. And, certain thrift stores, you can spend a certain amount and get a certain amount off on a Sunday, or you can use your credit card. You might get rewards back. Money back adds to your profit.
That's absolutely correct. It increases your profit margins. It's just amazing, some of the deals that you found over the years. I'm glad that you were able to share that with us. And again, don't overlook the opportunity to do thrifting, because there is a lot of money in it. You just have to invest the time. Make sure you track your mileage, and you'll find some good finds. Oh my goodness, $1 for 600. I'll do that all day. So
and just remember, I did this business part-time. I held a full-time job down in the process, and I made over $50,000 in sales on eBay and Amazon.
Well,
I had a full-time job that kept me on the road.
Well, the other piece of that is that you also have your profit margins are ridiculous. So as you can clearly see with thrifting, you have some ridiculous profit margins. When you find that item, wow. So, all right. Well, thank you, Keddrick. I am so glad that you were able to join us for this session. Again, we had some technical difficulties on Keddrick's end. I'm glad that we were at least able to get the recording and share some images with you so that you could see that thrifting is another way in which you can make money in e-commerce, because there are so many different ways in which you can do this. You figure out which avenue, which way, which method you like based on your lifestyle, your family, what's going on in your world, and then you go with it, because you can use thrifting. You can make a lot of money, and people use their e-commerce profits for different things. Vacations, paying for college, medical expenses, buying a new car. And so clearly you definitely can make a few hundred, if not a few $1,000s a month if you do this full time, for sure.
Yep, or part-time.
Or part-time.
Have it work for you, whatever works best for you. My range was $1 to $10. Yours may be $1 to $30. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? All right. Well, thank you, Keddrick. And we will check out the next speaker.
All righty. Well, thank you guys for having me. Y'all have a great day.